This is another segment where he's calling out exactly what happened with regards to two mining projects in New South Wales, which are not going ahead. One of which is a gold mine, the other one which is a silver mine, and the idea that New South Wales and Australia is going to miss out. And obviously, this is obviously tied back to the Aboriginal issues, and we all miss out.
Reaches you at 30,000 feet. Call your travel agent or book now at FijiAirways.com.
Sorry for the ads.
News you can trust. Opinions that matter. Now, Ben Fordham comments.
Sorry, I can't help but laugh.
Well, Chris Minns and Anthony Albanese better be listening. The New South Wales mining sector is in meltdown this morning because the state's two flagship mining projects have just been cancelled by state and federal governments and courts. And it's all because of red tape and activists getting in the way. They're not coal mines. We're talking about a silver mine and a gold mine. Silver and gold are both critical to the renewable energy transition and the PM's so-called Future Made in Australia plan. The Bowden silver mine was to be located about 30 kilometres from Mudgee. It's the largest undeveloped silver project in Australia. In fact, it's one of the biggest globally. Last year, the New South Wales Independent Planning Commission approved the project. But on Friday, the New South Wales Court of Appeal ruled that the Planning Commission's approval was void and of no effect. But wait until you hear the reason. The ruling was based on concerns that the mine's 13-kilometre transmission line will have a negative environmental impact. So it's not the mine itself that's the problem, it's the transmission line. The Court of Appeal has ruled a silver mine can't go ahead because the transmission lines will impact the environment. This is despite the fact that in order for the renewable transition to happen, transmission lines need to be built everywhere. We're told the project now has to go back to the beginning of the approvals process. It'll take years and cost millions. And that's why the project's share price tanked by 40% on the ASX on Friday afternoon. 50% of the world's silver is used for industrial applications, including solar panels, electronics and batteries. And demand for silver by solar panel manufacturers is forecast to increase almost 170% by 2030. But in New South Wales, we're shutting down silver mines and we're hurting the mum and dad investors who back them in. But there is hope because Chris Minns can step in. If Mr. Minns rules the mine is critical state significant infrastructure, the project won't have to go back to square one. A minister would make the calls instead of the bureaucrats. The second project that's been screwed over is the McPhillamys gold mine between Orange and Bathurst. It had all the federal and state government approvals, but out of nowhere, the Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek has stopped it. The minister has cited the cultural significance of a nearby river and ordered a dam to be moved. But when people pressed Tanya Plibersek to provide details of the cultural significance concerns, she's refused to say. The minister says it has been, quote, disclosed to her privately and must remain confidential due to cultural sensitivity, end quote. So an Indigenous activist can whisper in the Environment Minister's ear and have a $1 billion project cancelled. The gold mine was set to employ hundreds of people. It was set to pay tens of millions of dollars in taxes and royalties, but it's all been scuttled by secrets and cultural sensitivities. Good luck getting anything done in New South Wales. You can spend millions jumping through all the hoops. You think you're ready to go, but a court or a minister comes along and bursts the bubble.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, how is anyone meant to invest in Australia at all when they see this sort of thing? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Look, when I was in Parliament, I was on the Economic Development Committee into greenfields mining in Victoria. Now, back in the 1850s, Victoria was a place to be for gold. We built our Parliament House from it, and lots of the infrastructure from gold. Now, successive governments, including particularly this one, want to shut down mining in a state that has plenty of gas. We're not talking about that today, but plenty of gas, plenty of coal, and yet we're putting ourselves into renewals all because this environment thing that's the religion of environment, the religion of climate change, that once again, it's the lefties who are pushing this thing. Plibersek is the Environment Minister, a Labor minister. And they're pushing this thing. And unfortunately, the Libs, our Conservatives, supposedly, are going further to the left as well.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, believe in climate change. If you need, if you want to do all these solar panels, the biggest one in Australia has just been approved today. You're gonna need silver, son. You know, best conductors of electricity as well is actually gold as well. And the idea that we're just neglecting that and we're so rich with it, it's just nuts.
But the hypocrisy is really crazy. In order to do this net zero build out, you need 10,000 kilometers of new transmission lines. And if you give it a name, green, you slap the green on it, and you know the approvals seem to go through. You can run right through people's farmlands. You can run right through whatever Aboriginal place of cultural importance is, as long as you slap the right label on it. And it's insanity. It's one of those things. It's obviously not about what they say it's about, right? If it was about the cultural sensitivity, if it was about being careful with land use, well, then it would be applied across projects. But it's not, and it lets you know that it's really not the game they say it is.
Well, this one here with the Minister Plebiscite is saying, "Trust me, I've got it on my phone." That's what she said, Joel.
Literally, I can't disclose it. It's sensitive.
But I have a text message, private text message.
Yeah.
And we'll make our decision on that.
Not credible.
Wow.
Not credible. Not remotely credible.
It's shocking. It's shocking because it's literally like, were you corruptly given money from this industry or that industry or XYZ? We have no idea. You've left it in the air. Well done.
The guys, the guys living in the Central West out in Blaney are really going to hurt it. And McPhillamys, where it was going to be, about 50, 100 kilometres west of Bathurst, Blaney's been shrinking for years. A lot of those towns out there have been shrinking for years if there's not a large regional centre. So McPhillamys would have been a real boost for them there. How that dispute actually ended up happening is even worse, because the Wiradjuri Traditional Owners Central West Aboriginal Corporation did not disagree with it. They had a neutral and had withdrawn their dispute, whereas the Orange Local Land Council was firmly against it. And you have these two corporations which claiming over the same piece of land. You have this fourth level of government, fifth level of government, which then you need to seek permission from, which is why McPhillamys didn't go ahead, despite what we're talking about, a short power line. The same day they approved Sun Cable, which is 800 kilometres. But these are the kind of issues that both Paul and I will be travelling past where McPhillamys was going to be to Central West in Oberon. We'll be driving straight past the site. Perhaps we should stop in and have a look, because that's where the people who live out there are so concerned, where Ian Plyman's going to be speaking and others, and they've got 150 people going to it because these projects like that, this gets cancelled, but they're going to have they're absolutely dotted with new windmills, and that just enrages them. They need jobs, not just new windmills that come in by some contractors that drive back out.
And the transmission lines.
And the transmission lines.
All for unreliable power.